Breaking news update. In a major development in the Air India plane crash investigation, officials have now recovered the second black box from the crash site in Ahmedabad. The device, the Cockpit Voice Recorder, or CVR, was found earlier today and confirmed by P.K. Mishra, the Principal Secretary to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This second black box is crucial. It captures everything happening inside the cockpit, from pilot conversations to radio transmissions, warning alarms, and even background sounds. Together with the first black box, the flight data recorder, recovered last Friday, investigators now have both essential tools to reconstruct the final moments of the flight. Why are these black boxes so important? These devices act like the DNA evidence of aviation crashes, providing unbiased, second-by-second data, especially when human accounts are lost or conflicting. Past tragedies like the 2015 Germanwings crash or the Malaysia Airlines investigations were solved largely due to data from these very recorders. Even here in India, the 2020 Kozhikode crash led to major safety upgrades like better pilot training, improved runway design, and stricter landing protocols, all thanks to black box analysis. What's next? With both the CVR and flight data recorder in hand, experts will now begin detailed analysis to determine what exactly went wrong and how to prevent such disasters in the future. Stay tuned for more updates as this investigation unfolds. Our thoughts remain with the families affected by this tragic crash. In a promising development for Jammu and Kashmir's tourism sector, the scenic town of Pahalgam has begun witnessing a steady return of tourists. This follows the recent announcement by Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, who declared a phased reopening of major tourist destinations across the Kashmir Valley. Just a day after the announcement, Pahalgam saw a surge in visitors on Sunday, a sight that brings a sense of hope and normalcy to a region still recovering from a tragic event. The town was the site of a deadly terror attack on April 22nd, which claimed the lives of 26 individuals and shook the local community and the entire nation. Now, as tourists, including groups of tour operators, return, there's a growing sense of confidence in the region's safety and hospitality. This renewed interest in travel to Kashmir comes as a strong message. Life is returning to normal, and the spirit of Kashmir remains unbroken. Local hoteliers, guides, and shopkeepers have welcomed the visitors warmly, expressing optimism that this marks the beginning of a full revival of the tourism-dependent economy. The Jammu and Kashmir administration has assured all necessary security and support measures are in place to ensure a safe and enjoyable experience for travelers. Authorities have emphasized vigilance, preparedness, and resilience, encouraging tourists to explore the natural beauty of the region without fear. As the phased reopening continues, Pahalgam's revival is a symbol of hope, resilience, and the undying charm of Kashmir. The return of tourism could be the first step in restoring Jammu and Kashmir's place as one of India's premier travel destinations. Gold prices surged for a fourth straight session on Monday, climbing to a near two-month high, as escalating tensions between Israel and Iran pushed investors toward safe haven assets. Over the weekend, fresh attacks and counterattacks between the two nations raised fears of a wider regional conflict, intensifying global risk sentiment. This geopolitical uncertainty has driven strong buying interest in gold. In market action, U.S. gold futures rose 0.3% to $3,461.90 per ounce, breaking decisively past the $3,400 resistance level. Analysts now say the next psychological barrier to watch is $3,500. Meanwhile, all eyes are on the Federal Reserve this week. While the central bank is widely expected to keep interest rates unchanged, markets are closely monitoring for any signals about the timing of future rate cuts. Currently, traders are pricing in 2 rate cuts by the end of the year, with the first move possibly coming in September. In other precious metals, strong silver held steady at $36.29 an ounce. Platinum ticked up 0.4% to $1,233.87. Palladium rose sharply by 1.3%, reaching $1,040.96. With both geopolitical tensions and monetary policy in the spotlight, investors remain cautious, but gold's upward momentum continues to reflect growing market anxiety. In yet another blow to Air India's already embattled reputation, A Delhi-bound flight from Hong Kong, flight number AI315, was forced to return shortly after takeoff due to a suspected technical glitch. The aircraft, a Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner, landed safely back in Hong Kong. Passengers are being reaccommodated on an alternate flight, according to an official Air India statement. This latest incident adds fuel to public outrage just days after the tragic Ahmedabad-London crash of Air India Flight 171 on June 12, which claimed the lives of all 241 people on board. It was India's worst aviation disaster in recent history. In response, a DGCA-led high-level investigative panel, including officials from the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, has been formed to examine the crash. The investigation will focus on potential maintenance lapses, technical failures, and the training protocols followed by Air India. Meanwhile, a separate aviation scare unfolded in international airspace. A Lufthansa flight, LH752, operating from Frankfurt to Hyderabad, had to make an abrupt U-turn back to Germany after being denied landing clearance in Hyderabad. Lufthansa initially cited a lack of landing permit, but Hyderabad airport authorities later confirmed a bomb threat as the actual reason. The aircraft landed safely in Frankfurt, but the conflicting reports have raised eyebrows and stirred debate on transparency in global aviation communication. These back-to-back developments come amid rising concern over aviation safety standards, both within India and globally. The Air India technical issue, coupled with the Lufthansa security scare, has once again brought passenger safety and emergency preparedness into sharp focus. A powerful 6.1 magnitude earthquake struck Peru on Sunday, shaking the capital region and causing deadly consequences. According to the United States Geological Survey, the quake was initially reported as magnitude 5.6, but later upgraded to 6.1. Its epicenter was located near the port city of Callao, just outside Lima, and the tremor occurred around noon local time. Tragically, one man lost his life after a wall collapsed onto his car. Emergency authorities also confirmed that at least 36 people were injured in the quake. The shaking triggered landslides in the Lima region, prompting the suspension of subway services and halting a major football match mid-game. Rescue crews and emergency responders were quickly deployed to assess the damage. President Dina Boluarte addressed the nation shortly after the incident, urging calm and vigilance as aftershocks remain possible. Fortunately, no tsunami threat has been reported along Peru's Pacific coast, easing fears of a wider coastal disaster. Peru is no stranger to seismic events. Located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, the country experiences over 100 detectable earthquakes each year. This latest tremor brings back memories of previous tragedies, including the devastating 1970 Ancash earthquake that claimed over 67,000 lives, and the 2021 Amazon quake, which injured at least a dozen people. While Sunday's earthquake was less severe than those historic disasters, it is a stark reminder of the region's ongoing vulnerability to natural hazards. Authorities continue to monitor the situation closely and provide updates as recovery efforts progress.